Hey guys, welcome back to Till Vacuum Do Us Part. Hey guys, today we're sharing with you a finance Q&A, and if you're not following me over on Instagram, definitely head on over there. I'll leave my name right here at the bottom of the screen because that's where we ask for all these questions so that we know what to answer. We've been trying to do these once a month. You guys really enjoy them and we barely made it this month.
Yeah.
We're posting this right at the end, but we love getting to answer these for you guys, so we're going to jump straight into it.
Definitely.
So, how does the envelope system work when you don't use cash to pay bills? I'll let you answer this one.
Yeah, well, we don't use cash for our bills. We have them automatically drafted out of our bank accounts, so we don't. Basically, the cash envelope system will be for items outside of bills, really. So it's like it could be gas, it could be groceries, it could be eating out.
It's really good for the areas that you like splurge on but you don't want to. So
Right.
like if you're like we eat out, we like to pull out cash so we can see when we need to start slowing down, or for items that you're wanting to save up for that it doesn't like fit into your monthly budget. So there was a long time where Savannah's dance class didn't work into our monthly budget, so I kept an envelope for each month that she was in dance, and as I sold things or got rid of things, we would fill those envelopes up. So that's how we use it, but it's not for like bills.
Yeah, it's not for your electric, gas, that type of thing. That can be drafted right out of your bank account, or you can write a check for it, but we don't do cash envelope systems for bills.
Yeah. Dave Ramsey says no credit cards. Do you have any, and how do you feel about them?
Yeah, we do have one, and I'll tell you the purpose we have for it and just in our real life what we use it for. So somebody brought up a great question about how do you do the Walmart pickup online and do the cash envelope system. So we do both. It's more work, and it's more work on me, but it's worth it for us because we don't want to go over on the groceries. So what we do is once a month, on the 15th check, whenever I get paid, we will pull out our whole month's worth of our grocery budget. So we pull that out in cash. I bring it home. Then once a week, we just get our groceries once a week because it's easier for us. You might do every 2 weeks or every month. So once a week, we will order groceries online on Walmart. So say it's $80. We try to stay around that amount. So say it's $80. I'll just take that $80 cash and I will deposit it into our account because we're using a card to pay online. Obviously, to buy groceries online, you can't use cash. So we will just use our card online. The very next day, I go into work, I deposit the cash into the ATM, and that's how I do it. So it is more work, but it keeps you in check.
Now, if you can't handle that, if you can handle a credit card or not. We also use it for like if we have to rent a car or something like that, or a hotel.
Yeah.
If you can't handle that, use your debit card.
Definitely. We don't have any problems. Anytime I put something on the credit card, the very next day it gets paid off with money from our bank account. So
we never put something on the credit card that we don't already have the money for.
Exactly.
That's if you're putting something on the credit card because you're like, oh, I'll get paid in 2 weeks. No, wait for the 2 weeks until you get paid.
So that's our purpose for credit cards. So no, we don't. I mean, I don't like them, and they can be destructive if you don't have self-control. We know how to work them, and we don't have that spending issue. So it's not an issue for us, but we definitely don't recommend it to people that might not be able to handle it or be in debt.
Or if you're in debt, yeah. Tips for paying off debt, saving when your income barely covers bills and expenses. That's where you have to start cutting anything you don't need. Yeah. Just because it's Netflix or something like that, cut as many bills that you really don't need, and then you have to start coming up with ways to create income. If that's babysitting, if that's we've done everything. Just sell stuff that's in your house. Yeah. Like, just start getting rid of stuff, and that's the easiest way to go about those. But get rid of any bills that you don't need. We try to say this all the time, it's not forever. So cut that cable and save all that a month to start paying towards your debt. Then once your debt's paid off, you can have cable. You can have the nicest package if you want, but just while you're paying off debt, you have to live a little bit different. Yeah,
if you guys have been with us for a while, you know our story, and for 10 years, that was our story. Yeah. We had just enough money. It was my income only. Ashley stayed at home, so for 10 years, we had just enough to pay bills and maybe $50 extra a month, and that was our savings. So there wasn't much extra, and that's exactly what we did. We found new ways to generate money. We found ways to cut bills, and that's the way to go.
And we have videos on all of that. So if you're new to this, go back and click. We have ways to create money. We have ways to save money. We've got all those videos. Another one says, grocery budget tips. What can I do as a stay-at-home mom to help save money? So you have to figure out what's best for your family. I tried ordering grocery once a month or every 2 weeks or just once a week. For us, once a week works because in my head, I'm like, oh, we only have to make it 6 or 7 days, so I buy less.
Yeah.
In my head, if I'm like, oh, we have to make it 2 weeks, then I'm like, oh, we might run out of this and we might run out of that. So I would tend to overspend.
Yeah, we would spend less doing it weekly.
Yeah. The other thing we do is we use the Walmart grocery pickup. And I know a lot of you guys are like, oh yeah, but things are like 20 cents more or 30 cents more and you can't use coupons. Yes, but we still spend less because when we go in, we will spend about $20 to $30 more just by, oh yeah, that looks good, I want that. Chase grabs it. We will always spend more even if we have coupons and even if it's on sale in the store versus just picking it online. We know exactly what we're spending before we hit buy.
That's the key, is online you know exactly how much you've got in your cart, where if you're shopping in the store, unless you have your calculator out and you're adding it up as you put it in your cart, you don't know whenever you get up to the checkout how much you're putting in there. So
those are my tips.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any bad habits such as smoking or buying iced coffee? So we don't.
No, we don't.
Chase buys iced coffee only if he has a gift card.
I was gonna say my family, both sides of my family, in-laws and my parents and my family, they all know I love Starbucks. So for Christmas and for my birthday, I get gift cards, and it'll take me. I don't go there. Maybe once a week I'll go and I'll use the gift card. So it takes me 3-4 months to get through my Starbucks cards. But as soon as I'm done with them, I don't buy any Starbucks. Yeah. And she'll tell me, you know, you need to go get it. You've talked about Frappuccinos forever. You need to go get one.
If he
but
gets
it's hard
one,
for me.
it's because I make him,
right.
or like I go and get him a gift card.
This is definitely a luxury that I don't want to spend my own money on. But yeah, I love the gift cards and I will do it.
My bad habit would be like Pepsi.
Yeah,
like
Pepsi.
If you want, like, we're pop drinkers, so that's probably
the worst habit. I mean, we're not the healthiest eaters, I guess.
But we don't smoke, we don't drink like alcohol.
Yeah, we're not huge gamblers. We don't gamble.
No, we don't gamble. I don't know. Yeah. I used to tan. I don't tan anymore. So pretty much, we're pretty much boring people.
Yeah, we are. I guess so.
In what way? Oh, is the way you budget the same now as it was before YouTube? So yes, this is if you're like dead broke poor. Or Dave Ramsey and everybody that's in between. So we will always budget this way. If we're 1 income, 2 income, whatever, we will always budget the same.
The only difference is like the percentages have gone up probably. You know, we're just saving more, giving more.
Yeah.
So, but the bills all stayed the same. What we spend our money on has stayed the same. So.
Do you still use the envelope system? I tried to do it, but never end up sticking to it. Yes, we have done that from day one.
Like we said, I still pull out every month for eating out and for groceries. Cell phone, kind of the same way. So.
What do you budget per week for groceries for a family of 3? So we talked about this in my last grocery haul if you want to kind of see like what we order. But we're a family of 3 and we eat out a lot. That's our big splurge. Yeah. So we spend what, around 80?
Around 70 to 80. Sometimes it's, you know, we might spend 80 one week, but then only 60 the next week.
So yeah, it just depends on like if we start running out of stuff, we may buy a little more that week, but then the next week we don't get as much.
Yeah, so I'd say between 60 and 80 a week.
Do you have a timeline for paying off your mortgage early? Not yet. Like we don't have this set number. We want to pay it off quickly and soon, but we're also just trying to get like our next car saved for and like we're just building wealth. Right now we're just saving. It's not necessarily going for something particular, but we're just throwing as much into savings as we can.
Exactly. So I guess depending on how much we get built up will kind of depend on how quickly we pay off the mortgage, but we're looking to at least cut off 10 years on it.
Yeah.
So.
Do you use any apps to save money? There are good ones out there, but
I know Ebates is a good one. We used that for a little while, and then we kind of got off on it. We're just bad about remembering. If we're going to buy on Amazon, we're bad about remembering to click on that first, or Target, Walmart, wherever. I'm just bad about remembering to click on the Ebates app, but that's a good one.
I try to use like the Target app, like the Cartwheel app, if I'm going to buy, but I don't.
You just don't save a ton of money, so it's tough for us. So yeah, I mean, Ibotta and Ebates are 2 that I know of, but that's about it.
Best tips for decorating on a budget, where to find cute, cheap decor. Do you want to answer this one?
Well, I know where you get it. Garage sales, Craigslist, Facebook, Ross.
So garage sales is your #1 place. If you're trying to go super cheap and get really good items, a garage sale is the way to go. Next is Goodwill, next is Ross, and next is like TJ Maxx, Home Goods. So that's my expensive. Is if
Facebook. You've done
Facebook, yeah, Craigslist, Facebook, but garage sales are by far, you're going to get the best deal. And that's, I mean, if you guys I just posted a home tour Sunday, and that's actually when we're filming this. And you'll see half our house is used.
Yes.
Like our appliances are used, our, you know, everything around us is used, and we're okay with that. You may have to spray paint it, you may have to clean it up, but it saves you so much money and your house can still look great. So definitely check that out if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on buying a home with little debt left under $6,000? So in our opinion, and Dave Ramsey, is you don't do it till you're out of debt. You get out of debt, and then you need a down payment, and then you can buy a house.
Yeah.
That's just how it should be done. Not that you have to do that.
I mean, it's possible. You can still do it, but it's better to, and I don't know in this situation if she has a down payment or not, but, you know, if you have a down payment, it's almost like, well, maybe you should just pay off the how much was it, $6,000? Just pay off the $6,000 in debt and then just wait another couple of months or 6 months to build up your down payment again. But yeah, it's better to go into a house without any debt, just to make it a little smoother in case you lose a job or something.
Do you do the envelope system? We've answered that. Also, help on paying back student loans. We got to do this.
Oh, we got to do that, yes.
So how we did this is we got married and we lived off Chase's income. I was actually making more at that time.
Yeah, I guess that was the one time. It was for about, was it a year where we had 2 incomes, but mine was part-time as a teller while I was in college. So.
And I was working full-time as a nanny, making $2,000 a month, and to us that was
that was more than what I was making at that point.
But we only lived off part-time banker, like teller at the bank. Exactly. So we had a tiny 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment, and when I say tiny, I could vacuum the entire house with the plug-in vacuum.
With the still plugged in.
And I didn't have to unplug it. There was no room for a dining table. Right. Teeny tiny. And so we lived there, and everything I pretty much made, like, it was about $1,000 or more because of taxes.
I was gonna say it was about $1,500 a month. We
threw at my student loan, so we did not do anything. We cooked at home. When we did eat out, it was with our parents, like eating at their house. We did nothing other than just throw it at the debt. We did not, like when I say we did nothing, we did nothing.
And we were lucky. You only had about 10 to 11,000 in student loan debt. It's, I know for a lot of you, it's a lot worse and a lot higher than that. But she only had about 10 to 11,000.
But yeah, by the time
we paid it off in 10 months, I believe.
So, eating out is very expensive. How do you guys budget going out to eat? I dislike cooking. So that's something, that's our splurge, and that's kind of our reward for being out of debt. So when we were in debt, we were not going out to eat this much. Right. This is just something that we're 2 incomes now, and we're debt free. Obviously, if you're going to go occasionally, even if you're paying off debt, just use coupons. We try to either, sometimes we just split a meal to save money. Sometimes if we get separate meals, I always try to keep half of mine for lunch the next day, just so it makes 2 meals.
Yeah, we like to go on nights where there's specials.
There's specials, kids eat free. There's a ton of places. Just start researching, and I used to have it in my planner of like what night to eat where Savannah could eat free, or where we could do buy one get one. And so every night I'm like, oh, it's Wednesday, and I would go and look at all the restaurants we could choose from that night. So that's a little time consuming, but so worth it if you're like paying off debt and trying to save money.
Definitely.
How much do you guys put into monthly savings? It's not the same. It just depends. YouTube,
it's a percentage off of, off of YouTube, really, how much you make, because it varies.
So it's basically 40% of what I make, because 10% is tithing, and then 40%, and really, I keep the other 50% in my account, but I'm not going through it, so technically it's even more than that. But there's not a number, because I never know what I'm going to make.
Exactly.
I love these videos. How do you get your spouse on the same page? My biggest suggestion is to dream. Ask him or her, what does it look like if we were out of debt? What would we do? Where would we go? What would we give? And when you start thinking of this whole life after debt and you start dreaming, then you have this goal of like, what are we going to do to get out of debt? Because I want to get there. I want to live that life that we can live. We just may have to work hard for a few years, but we can get there. And so my biggest suggestion is to just start dreaming with your spouse. Start planning goals and setting goals. Definitely. And I feel like when we get
that's a big motivator.
Yeah. Because it's like, what would you do? Like,
Yeah.
right now, think in your head, what would you do if you didn't have that debt?
And the big one is, how would you feel? Like, we're asking all these questions. How would you feel without debt is a big one, because I know money can be very emotional and very stressful and hard on your body, hard on your mind. So how would you feel not having any of those payments? That's a big motivator for me.
The next question is, do you guys have a side business or a rental on the side for extra income or goal? So YouTube is our side hustle.
Yeah.
So Chase's is the main job, and then this is the side hustle we started to bring in extra income, which is actually now making more than his.
So I have the side hustle now. As my full-time job is my side hustle. But yeah, we don't have any investment properties. We'd love to have a rental property.
We've talked about it.
And we're looking into that, but
that's always
we'll see. That's probably in the future, but nothing right now.
Yeah. How do you do the side job of refurnishing furniture and how much it's sold for? So I would just go to garage sales, and you have to be there. You have to be the first one there.
Sure.
So when they open, you have to be there.
And typically on a Friday or a Saturday, because by Sunday, all the good stuff's gone.
So I would buy it. I would buy things for $5, $10. Like, I'm talking nice nightstands, side tables are the way to go. If you're going to redo coffee tables, get those small pieces that don't take a lot of paint and don't require a lot. Like, somebody doesn't want to have to look for a truck to have to come pick something up, but they can fit a nightstand in their car, a side table, coffee table, and then most people don't want to take the time to refinish it or repaint it. I painted everything either white or gray, and I would sell it between like $50 and $75.
Yeah.
And I would pay $5 to $10. It's kind of how we did it in our area.
And all it took was, just white paint. And we, like, if it was an end table or a nightstand, we would put like a crystal knob. We put new hardware on it, and a lot of times it was a crystal knob, just because those. And
that was from, like, I bought a whole bag of those from a garage sale for $1.
We did, yeah. She found a whole bag of like 20 of those glass knobs or crystal knobs, and we used them on all that furniture. So
that's another tip when you're garage selling. Look, people cram things in like plastic bags, and you don't think they're much. Hold them up and look at them, because there's normally like gold in there. Like, you find the best stuff. How much do you spend on house stuff weekly? I don't think a lot. Like, no. It's just maintenance wise, there's not a lot.
You get a couple of new decor items, maybe once a week, but then you're selling
I sell something else,
your other stuff. So
paid $8,000 in the last 6 months. They've paid off $8,000 in the last 6 months. Burned out, real help. First off, like, congratulations. So that's awesome.
Huge. That's a lot of money in 6 months.
This is the same thing about how do you get yourself motivated? Start dreaming again. Why did you pay off that $8,000? What's your goal? What's your plan? What are you trying to get to?
Stick to the plan.
And go listen to Dave Ramsey. Yeah. Every time I got like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Sometimes I like love Dave Ramsey, and then sometimes he's like a curse word to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Don't say Dave Ramsey to me
I bring it up to her.
Time. Like,
yeah, it was a cuss word to her sometimes.
So we go watch him, because he'll get you like fired up.
Definitely.
Budget worksheets, pen and paper, envelope system, or everyday dollars. So we're our budget worksheets on the computer, and we always link that down below in our description box where you can click on it. And it's very simple, basic. You can plug your numbers
into it. Just an easy Excel spreadsheet, really simple, what we use.
Okay, this one says, do you and Chase buy each other gifts for holidays, or do you pick something to buy for the both of you? So when we were going through the debt-free journey, we didn't even buy each other gifts.
No.
And there's still a lot of holidays where like, we're good. Typically, if we do buy something, it is like a group, like a set, like, oh, we need a new TV because it went out, or oh, the washer and dryer. Like, typically,
we'll just kind of agree, oh, we both kind of want this big thing for the house, so let's go ahead and get that instead of getting for each other. But I know Christmas, birthdays, we will buy for each other. Valentine's Day, we did buy for each other. And then Mother's and Father's Day, we'll usually buy for each other.
Typically, we have Savannah, too. Like, there's been a few years, like, we didn't want to spend a lot of money, and we let Savannah go in and pick 5 things from the Dollar Tree to give to the other person. So we do that sometimes, too. Yeah. So, do you ever have different views on large purchases? If so, how do you work it out? So, the very first thing is I just bring up the idea. Chase has to...
I have to research it and think about it.
Yeah, he has to think about it. So, it's just a process. I know I'm like, hey, Chase, I'm not going to do it anytime soon, but I'd love to paint that island.
Yes.
And
then it takes me a little bit.
And then we process. And then it's like, if I were to paint the island, I think it would look really good this color. And then I start showing Pinterest pictures. And then then I get the estimate. So yeah, it's just like I know with Chase, it's just like a little short, little walk that we walk through it. But He's always on board, but
Yeah.
I just can't be like, hey, I'm going to paint the island today.
Exactly.
Unless I'm painting it.
Right.
But even that, you like time to process. When you were paying down debt, did you set aside any fun money? We didn't.
Not much, no.
We
Because we didn't go to the movies, we didn't go.
Well, and honestly, we didn't have enough. Like, just to
Right.
pay our bills, like, I don't know. We've always just not made a lot before YouTube. So
and during that time, the only time we were in debt was whenever that first year of marriage, I was in college full time, and working part time. So we didn't travel. We wouldn't have the money to travel. Well, I guess we would have if we wanted to put it $1,500 a month towards debt, but we chose to put it towards debt. But yeah, we didn't have time to do anything except I remember working from 6:30 to 12:30, coming home. Ashley was gone 8 to 5 with her job. I'd come home, eat lunch, and then go to classes in Tulsa. 2 times a night. Sometimes I had 1 class a night,
We
but
were
it was 3
busy.
hours, so we were busy.
We just didn't have time.
There's 2 nights a week I didn't get home till 9:30, and then the other nights I got home at 7 after classes. So.
And I worked all day as a nanny, and I would crash by like 8 or 8:30. Like, I was out. I slept really good when I was a nanny. This one says about how much do you make on YouTube right now. I've got to look into it. Like, YouTube doesn't allow you to say how much you're making, so I don't want to get in trouble, and I haven't addressed it yet. I do make more than Chase, I will say that. So, and Chase can cover, like, we've lived off Chase our entire life. So this house, everything we do.
So it's a good chunk.
It's quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
What would you tell somebody for saving to buy their first home? Definitely know your budget and what you can afford. We've said this before. The bank will give you more than you can handle. You'll have that mortgage, and then you won't be able to eat or do anything.
They were going to give us double what we knew we could afford on paper whenever we went
monthly,
to the lender.
Know what you can handle monthly, because they'll say, oh yeah, we'll loan you this much, but monthly, what is your payment that you can handle and still like eat and have
and pay electric, pay gas, pay property taxes, pay insurance, pay cars, gas. I mean, they don't figure that. A lot of times, they're looking at other debt to asset ratios and all this, but they're not looking at all the other bills you have. They just care about how much you have in savings, how much you're bringing in. Really, it's how much you're bringing in. Yeah. So be careful. If we wouldn't have known how much we could afford,
we bought 2 houses.
Yeah, both times we bought houses. If we didn't know, they were going to lend us double the amount, and so that's how you get into trouble when you foreclose on your house. Is if you go with what they tell you.
They don't want you to use your down payment. They're like, no, save that for you'll want to update, you'll want new furniture. We'll give you 103. No,
makes your payment
use your
higher.
down payment. No.
And another one is don't have a car loan or 2 car loans going into a house because that can bring you down too.
Yeah. How would you go about remodeling your house while trying to pay off debt? You don't. You don't do anything while you're paying off debt. You can do that when you're done paying off debt.
You can remodel.
Do whatever you want. While you're paying off debt, stay focused. Focused. That's Tiger trying
Tiger's
to get
breaking in. Oh, he got in. Hey, buddy.
Hey, baby. Come say hi to the camera. Retirement. Where do you put your money?
401k. I have a 401k at my job, and then I have a Roth IRA as well. So that's where we're putting, investing money, and our retirement money is in a Roth IRA. I do have a traditional IRA as well, and then a 401k at work. And if you have a 401k at work, definitely put in up to your employer's match. So if they match 6%, definitely put in 6%.
Do you have a girls' day with Savannah? If so, what do you do to stay in budget? So we definitely, and it's different now because like I said, I'm making money, but before, if I didn't have, a bigger budget, I would just start an envelope, and if I only wanted to spend $50 or $100 or $25, just figure out what that is and take cash and don't spend over that. Mm-hmm. There's here, in our town, there's a really cheap movie day. I think it's Wednesday. It's buy a ticket, get one free. Yeah. Definitely do that. Find areas that are offering discounts, and that's the day to set it up. So you just have to plan. When you're trying to save money and being smart with money, it's all about planning.
Definitely.
So it's not easy and it's not fun, but it'll keep you on budget.
Mm-hmm.
Does Savannah get pocket money? Do you have an account for saving money for her? So she does have her own savings account that she puts money in. So just as she makes extra money, or she she gets an allowance from us.
Yeah, we do a small allowance weekly, and so she'll put some of that in savings and then spend the rest.
Then she ties some of it. Yep. But for me, it was just finally I needed help. I'm working so much, and she's here and can help me, and she's not at school, so we finally just thought, now she doesn't get paid to clean her room. She has just chores that's just her for living here. But if she's helping me clean up the kitchen, or vacuuming, or making our bed, or helping with the laundry, we just have a set amount, and as long as she helps me. Now, if I get through the end of the week and I'm Savannah didn't do much. She's like, I know. We'll just give her like half of it. But that's how we do that. Furniture and decor for a new home or apartment. Garage sale, Goodwill, Ross.
Yeah, used for sure, because you can get nice stuff used.
Is your home ever messy?
Yes.
I clean it. It's just I clean it when we're done. So we're done at the end of the day or right before we leave to go somewhere. It gets picked up. But we live here. I mean, you should see my floors right now. It's muddy. It's been raining, and the girls are literally running through my house as we speak. So,
yeah, it gets pretty messy.
Yeah. How do you have the energy to clean so much? A, I'm stressed if my house is dirty, and B, I come from a line of women that have energy. Like my grandma and my mom don't even really sit to eat. So that's just something that's, I don't know.
You're always moving.
Yeah, always moving. Are you saving for Savvy's college? Technically not yet. Like I said, we're just like throwing into savings right now. So who's to say that's not Savannah's savings or the house right now? We're just, it's just going into a savings account.
We'll focus more on that here in a little bit, but we got some other goals going on too at the same time.
How to budget even for one luxury bag. So when I was back on like my tighter budget, I bought used. So first off, grab an envelope and start selling things. Start selling things around your house that you don't need and don't want, and then get something you do want. So sell 20 things around your house that you don't need to have one special thing. So you may already have a ton of purses. If you're not carrying them, sell them and get one good one. eBay.
That's how you bought your first two or three?
I think I had 3 or 4 used ones, and they were all used.
They were all eBay.
The reason I bought them, they were trashed on the inside. The outside looked fine. The inside was dirty. Nobody sees the inside but you, and you would get them at such a better deal. And then if something did happen, you weren't as worried. Because this week, I almost spilled an entire sweet tea in my new Louis. Where before, I wouldn't have cared because it was trashed. It was like a, the purse! Like, panic. Luckily, it like cleared it barely, but
it missed it.
It's what it is. How do you organize your sinking funds? Electronically or cash?
Yeah,
we're not like stuffing money in our mattress.
No, right. We have some cash set aside, but not much. It's all in savings accounts where we have like sinking fund. If you're saving for certain things, like a car, we do that electronically in a savings account.
The next one is, do you think 1,000 is enough to start, or should it be more? So yeah, when you're starting, it's save 1,000.
Are they talking about saving?
I think so.
Okay.
And then you start paying off debt from there, but at least have $1,000 emergency fund.
Right, just in case car air conditioner goes out, or something else in the car goes out, or just your AC at the house. Yeah, usually those little things will be $1,000 or less, so that's what that's for. So it doesn't throw you off of your paying off debt plan.
Well, and there's something about when you have it saved for, less bad things happen.
Right.
But when you don't have it saved for, everything finds you.
Yeah.
It really does. Like, it's so true.
Dave Ramsey has a term for that. I forget what it's called.
I'm trying to think what it is. I'm sure one of you will tell us.
Yeah.
What would you do if your $28K car needed to have its entire engine replaced and the bill would be $20K? I ditched the car.
Yeah, I don't know why the new engine would cost $20,000 on a $28,000 car. Unless the car is really $70,000, but they're maybe down to $28,000 on their loan. I'm not sure if the car's worth $28,000 or just the loan's worth $28,000. But I wouldn't be spending $20,000 on a new engine. I would be getting rid of that car, even if you owe money on it afterwards and you have to make payments to pay off that loan. I would get a different car.
Go buy a cheap junk.
Go buy a cheaper car.
Yeah. That at least runs. That is ridiculous. No, do not put $20,000.
Don't put $20,000 into the engine. No.
I don't even know if our cars combined equal $20,000.
They don't. Yeah. When we bought our cars, it was about $12,000 for both of them total.
Any ideas or opinions on retirement planning for both of you? We've kind of talked about that.
Oh, on our retirement planning?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're doing 10% to retirement right now. Plus, sometimes we'll put more in there. And we get a match. I get a good match from my work. So, and that's 150% match I'm about to start getting. So, that's really good. Yeah, that's kind of our plan right now.
Does your husband and you ever disagree on all the home stuff you do? At the first of our marriage, yeah. He comes from a family that like, you don't fix it unless it's broke and can't be refixed 20 times. Like, you just keep it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but it looks pretty. I want a new one.
I know. Yeah.
So at first it was hard.
That was a new concept for me, replacing things that were perfect or there's no problems with them. It was weird to me to replace stuff just because of the look of it, or you got a different style.
Now,
like where I came from, we don't change our style. We just keep it because it works and it's serving its purpose. So that's what I was used to.
But now I'm just so
used to it. I don't fight it anymore because I know it's going to happen more than likely anyways.
And I feel like he pushed Ireland more than me. Like he picked out the color and got it all set up. If it was me, like I kept dragging my feet on it. I think you wanted it done almost even more than me. How many months of expenses did you decide to save for baby step 3, and how long did it take?
That was the hardest one, step 3, when she wasn't doing YouTube. We were stuck on baby step 3 for years.
And then something would happen.
Yeah, we would save, where we almost had 5 months, 6 months expenses, and that's what we wanted was 6 months emergency fund. To cover 6 months expenses. And we get so close, and then like her engine, I forgot what it was. Something happened with her engine on an old Jeep Liberty she had where it blew out on the highway. So we had to buy a car, and we had cash. It was our emergency fund. So we had to pay cash for a car. And of course we got a used one, but we had to rebuild it back up. So we get 4 months of emergency fund saved, and then we had to get a new roof on the house before we sold it or something. So that one, and with one income where we had maybe $100 extra a month to save, it was taking us forever. And we cut everything out we could cut. I just didn't make a lot. So it was tough. But now with YouTube having the extra money, it's definitely a lot easier.
That's why when we say we're saving, we're just throwing it into a fund because we've never been at a point where we can just save so easily.
Exactly.
So we just want to save. We don't care what we're saving for. We'll just save. Do you have an offset account? How do you manage spending for food and shopping?
A what? Offset account?
So we have like our personal account. We have my YouTube account. Savings and Savannah savings.
Right.
So
we have one main checking account, and then we have her YouTube business account.
How do you manage spending for food? So food is an envelope, so we put cash in there. Shopping's, I used to do, like when I had to really budget my shopping, I had an envelope, and I got $100 a month. That's what I would spend. And so if I wanted more, that's when I would go spend $5, $10, $15 on those pieces. Paint them, flip them, and turn that 100 into like 300 or whatever I needed to do.
Which she did quite a bit.
I did all the time.
But yeah, it used to be just $100. Now she can use her YouTube income as what she'll use for shopping.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. And it's a good one. Does Chase want to quit his job and stay at home and help with YouTube and homeschooling Savannah? I would love for him to help with homeschooling.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me address that first. Homeschool would help me, but I don't. These two, like Savannah and Chase, don't communicate well with
I know, and I feel like I say it the exact same way Ashley does, but she doesn't receive it the same way coming from me. So.
But I will say, anytime he's tried to teach her, it's in the evening after work, and in the evening time, you guys all know if you try to help your kids with homework, they're like done. So you would have to try during the morning, but.
Right. And I'm not looking to, I love my job, so I'm not looking to quit, but I love helping her with YouTube. I think it's fun.
I want him to quit.
I know, she would be totally fine if I came home and helped her.
I'm maxed out. So I feel like I would love to have somebody helping me, and I'm like, why would I pay somebody when you could just stay at home? But that's nowhere, like, I don't, YouTube's a funny thing, because just like that, they can take it away.
Well, right, so. Just with, all the stuff going on lifestyle channels right now.
Like,
they could shut down monetization just like that, and we would have no say-so. We couldn't contact anybody.
Right.
And if it's your one income, then you're in big trouble. Go to Instagram, but we don't make as much off Instagram as we do YouTube. So it's risky. It's a risky.
It's a goal, it's a dream, and we'll strive for it. But we would have to have, once again, that's why we're throwing in savings. We would have to feel secure that if something happened, we would be okay.
Right.
We are not risk takers at all.
I mean, starting the channel was a big enough risk for us, just putting ourselves out there, because we didn't do a lot of social media at all before this. And just, letting people in and seeing your world and your life, that's a big deal. So that was a risk for us just doing that. Right. But we try to play it safe.
With money, we're very safe
with money. We make, pretty safe decisions. So, I don't know. I'm good with my job right now, and Ashley having hers. I come home in the evenings and help her, and there's a lot of nights where I get home from work and we talk emails, to sponsors and all that all evening long until 9:30, 10. And so, it stays busy, but.
Definitely. So like I said, we have videos covering all the stuff we talked about, and it goes more into detail. So definitely check those out. I hope we answered all the questions. We'll definitely be doing more of these. We've been trying to do some type of finance video every month because I know you guys enjoy them, and it just kind of helps keep you guys motivated and us.
It keeps us motivated too.
Yes.
We like rehashing all of the old principles and concepts we've known but we just forget about. So it's always good to go back over, and we love talking finances.
We could do this all day long with you guys.
We're nerds where we like talking about money, or at least I am.
We just want to help. Like, we've seen how much it's changed our lives. We want to change your life. Like, we want you to get there because it's so worth it. And it is so hard when you're in that mode, especially like the person that's like, I've been doing this for 6 months, I'm tired.
Right.
Keep pushing. It's going to be worth it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. If you're not subscribed, please hit that red button down below, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.